Welcome back, OGN Legion, to LCK Spring 2018. Kingzone DragonX once again showing some dominance. This is going to be potentially the third match in a row where they have gone undefeated if they're able to take down the next match. But this was a different story, a different style of victory, Pub Smithy.
You know, sometimes the chat will ask, is it live or is it a replay? This one was certainly live. This one was different from Kingzone, who did not take lane dominance. They didn't look for counterpick for Khan. Happy to give him Gangplank and let him scale. Nidalee for Peanut meant that he could be aggressive, but never wantonly, never really overextending and dying like he did the first time he played Nidalee, when Ambition and Crown were able to take him down a couple of times in Ambition's jungle. Restrained, smart macro, great performance from the side of Kingzone, and whenever they win, inevitably this man will certainly be in the conversation for an MVP.
And it's another deathless game. He's had 2 of them so far. This is going to be his 3rd, moving up into that equal 2nd place, theoretically, on those 300 points that Edge and Deft also have for themselves. But it was a different style from Khan here as well. Normally on these sort of split pushes in these early pressure top laners.
I mean, the first time we see him, level 11, level 12, you know, he's already circumventing the early laning phase where he might turn on the style, as certainly did Bling at the right time. There were moments here for ROX Tigers, but they were so frustrated at the lack of 5v5. This is all about Prey, darting in and out.
Absolutely amazing.
Making Lindarang look a bit silly. Team fights never really happened, but skirmishes like these meant that Lava and Sangyoon could never focus fire. The Baron take here was just beautiful. You're a fan of macro League of Legends. Are we turning? Are we committing? The answer was both and neither. Yeah, against the ROX Tigers, and by the time they could actually find the 5v5, the gold lead meant Prey dies first, and then we see some crit barrels and a Gangplank that had 6 items and then some run at people, and they're all going to die.
It did take a lot of damage there from Sangyoon. You can see that burst was pretty huge, but the pentakill, unfortunately, not able to be there. They tried to give it to him. Sangyoon said no, and Peanut says, well, I don't care. I will take this cherry on top. You can see that wry smile on Khan's face. He wanted that penta. He wanted the second one of the LCK. It's just Lava that had it so far, so wanting to really get on his level for game number 2, but not going to happen. Speaking of game number 2, we're going to be in Champ Select very soon. I don't think that side selection is something that we need to be talking about as much anymore. I was really excited about it in week 2, but now it just seems that even if you're on the red side, there are certainly these pick combinations that can set you up for that victory if you've got the number of the blue side team.
I mean, whenever side selection is overwhelmingly powerful, you know, times when blue side so much stronger than red side because of must bans, and the game loses a bit of luster. I really like it when it's all about the strategy and the outplay and the getting in the head of the enemy drafting coach. So I appreciate that things are a bit different, but there's also the must bans that some teams will draw. We're not clear if ROX Tigers have any champions like that. Maybe the Kha'Zix deserve some respect, but the Jace for Khan is certainly one that will not be seeing the light of day in this game or potentially this series.
Yeah, and of course the Vladimir needs an honorable mention. We'll see whether that's going to be a red side ban here, and it is. 2nd ban for Kingzone DragonX. Lindarang not going to have that one again. Only a 50% win rate, but certainly does show some power. Zoe could be something else that they look at. The Galio there as well, but now that they're on the red side, Kingzone could be just seeing where the ROX leave that one up, and that could be the next ban here for the ROX Tigers as well, understanding the red side power.
I think they have answers for both, so I'm excited to see which of them they ban, because I think Azir as an answer to Galio is very, very possible for Kingzone on the red side, and as an answer for Zoe as well. Even though the Zoe matchup seems like it's very Zoe lopsided, BDD has already won on the red side. The Azir matchup from sheer outplay. Still going to make sense to first pick it, but I think Kingzone likely to visit Azir once again.
Yeah, this will be Lava's debut on the champion as well, so Kingzone moving over to see what they're going to answer in the mid lane with, but Peanut going back to certainly an old favorite for him in the jungle, in the Kha'Zix, if he wants to lock that one away. We'll sort of price Kingzone into a little bit more of a fast-moving composition if they go for it, and they are going to.
Or a Taric as well, so I think Taric at some point in the draft makes a lot of sense when you see the Kha'Zix locked in. Tank support is being basically what we see Gorilla play every game, and he seems very comfortable to do that.
I'd like to see some priority on Gorilla's Alistar as well. Maybe give him something that can just hard tank. And I know what you're saying is turn everyone into a pseudo tank with the Cosmic Radiance, but maybe just get him in there, make him so disruptive that they can just win these team fights in pure snowball.
Sadly, we will not be seeing BDs this year. We are not blessed by it. Malzahar is still going to be a reliable lockdown tool, and you see a lot of synergy between the two picks on red side, the Malzahar and the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, they're both purple.
That's true. That's why I was talking about all about the colors here on the OGN LCK stream. Malzahar also brings kind of a very tertiary part of his kit, but the Voidlings do really help with the Baron tanking that might be important for a potential turn or rush down, so Malzahar's little help around the Baron pit can be relevant as we look here to ROX Tigers. Gonna go for Ezreal, gonna go for the power pick that we saw Prey pilot to. Not that much aplomb, but certainly had that very nice move around the wall.
Team fighting still looked fantastic. Of course, died, unfortunately, relatively early as Lindarang. He's going for the GP now.
Oh, the Riven.
Camera goes to Khan, and it's just like, oh, what can I which one of my bevy of top lane destruction carries can I ruin him on?
The Riven Atlas.
That's what I want to.
He's playing it in solo queue. Third most played champion this season is Riven.
Do we get Varus
largely
for the
against
Gangplank?
Gangplank.
No, we don't.
He's not going to take the Riven now. That would probably be a second round pick, but I'm just going to keep saying it out loud, and eventually someone will oblige me with some Riven.
Please, Khan, give us the Riven. Well, this time, and Kalista, of course, a little bit too obvious, so I don't get my, color scheme choice as well. Prey often does like to prioritize Varus a little bit higher, but not higher than his 100% win rate Deathless Kalista.
We're all waiting for week 4, where we might see some of that Jinx in action. That'd be a fun one.
Beep, beep, I'm a Jeep.
I'm sure Deft is ready to go. Not a lot of Korean pros practicing in solo queue because we still have a week of play. Patch 8.1, so not as useful to know the ins and outs of that champ right now.
I believe there's a certain Korean commentator that's been trying his hand at the old champion, though.
That's true. I had some fun on the Jinx. She seems pretty good for solo queue, I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of squishies to bust down and get excited about. No KT roasters, though.
And when you de-nerf what was nerfed to stop her from being busted in solo queue, she's probably going to go back to being busted in solo queue. But there's the Alistar ban. Kingzone actually going to take that one away. So interesting. I would have liked to see it. It's another purple one, but it's also one of Gorilla's most famous champions. Is Camille going to be taken off the board? So no Jace, no Camille. Do they ban the Fiora next? Do they have to? Is it then going to be the top lane completely pinched and we just definitely get a Riven, Papa Smithy? Maybe that's what it is. Is Jarvan now going to be taken away from SeongHwan, and getting rid of his most played certainly is a great option.
Getting rid of Engage also.
Getting rid of everything that he's ever played, actually, so far in 2018. I know that sounded a little bit more like
denying Engage is relevant, because if you want to play something like Riven, you don't necessarily want to be engaged on particularly reliably.
Oh, he wants it.
I do.
He wants
really
it
do.
Real bad.
And ROX are like, well, you can have the Gnar. It's pretty good against the Gangplank, but teams are increasingly picking Gangplank into Gnar. Waiting to see if we're going to see any meta busting, and when it's last picked, you get more excited. I'm pulling a full KT roster here, Atlas, with this draft.
I know, you are getting way, way too excited. As people feel about KT roster, yes.
We can say it on stream, they're not playing. And ROX are just looking for a teamfight god comp. They have to pick and poke from Ezreal and Zoe. The Taric would be a bit more reliability on the teamfight phase. Very short on engage. So an engaged jungler, Zac, for example, would be great here. Then they would have true teamfight engage. Didn't see Zac in game 1, which was a big surprise. But that was the style there.
I was going to mention, sort of Rengar is on the fringe as far as the higher tier junglers, and with a whole lot of them being locked out, certainly is an option. Thrill of the Hunt can be a pseudo-engage tool with Cosmic Radiance timed right, or something like that, but
we saw a Garen flashed. We saw a lot of picks here. The Lucian's another one that was flashed in the last game. What's Khan feeling? He gets his choice. Blind pick Gangplank against Khan is one of the most scary things to talk about. He's showing the Riven. I think it might be Riven time.
There we go! Papa Smithy, it's your birthday again! Only a week later. Just ridiculous. Okay. Khan going to be trying one of the old faithfuls as far as counter matchups against the Gangplank on the top side of the map, and I have a feeling it's probably going to go okay.
Competitive debut on Riven this time for Khan. I was calling for it. We saw it in solo queue. Would we see it in competitive? Khan always says yes. He's played the Mordekaiser. He's the god of the Jace. And now Riven comes back in the LCK.
And with a spell book as well, Papa Smithy, so we get the disgustingness from solo queue.
Ignite Riven, baby!
Ignite Riven, baby! That's all we're talking about. What I want to see is no flash. Just go with the heal as well, you know?
Lindarang is now epically tilted.
Extraordinarily. So this is a fun comp from Kingzone, and actually around the rest of the map, it's also fun because we now get to have Rivens running around going nuts, and then an Abyssal Voyage turns up, makes it a completely tilted fight in the wrong way.
Isn't
all
it
sorts
beautiful,
of crazy
Atlas,
stuff.
when everything made sense for a Riven,
and
then a Riven was delivered. Beautiful stuff. So low engage for ROX Tigers. They can't force much in the 4v4. The 1v1 is going to be all about the Riven trying to style on the Gangplank. Rengar can do some things to turn around that matchup. Riven from behind is really nothing to talk about, but low engage for ROX Tigers. If this Riven gets going, the choo-choo train's going all the way to the Nexus, Atlas.
Yep, it's going to be disgusting, and I love Riven in this composition with the fact that they are going to be so safe moving around with the rest of the unit, because Riven doesn't necessarily want to be starting off a team fight, but let's see if ROX can turn it. Their composition a little bit more standard. Kingzone putting on the style. Let's get into game 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, ROX fans actually finding their voice here just a little bit.
A little bit of a groan. The Ignite Riven's really taking them down another peg. So Riven in this spot, very good matchup into Gangplank unless there's significant snowball on the Gangplank start. Wants to bust him down. Speaking of busting.
Yeah, Gorilla just wanted to have a bit of a sing and dance, but ROX are going to interrupt that. Clearing out a ward too, so first CS actually going over to ROX. Infinite amounts of more CS.
So a lot of fan signs for the side of Kingzone. Great. Probably the second most popular player in Korea next to FLICKR.
Also got a haircut and looks glorious today.
Dapper is the word I would use. Riven and her Blade of the Exile around the top side. Broken for now, but that ultimate comes in around level 6.
Around, you'd say so?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I mean, he could skill something else, Atlas. What am I to know? I'm no Riven god.
Hey, that's true, that's true. Got to get that 4th point in Broken Wings.
Can't even do that at level 6. Dang it. Second point in shield. Got to be a tanker.
Yeah, there we go, there we go.
Gonna help with the leash. So top side from Peanut on is very standard Kha'Zix. Spellbook Riven is confirmed. The Ignite kind of told you the story. That was the spoiler.
Yeah.
In that one, can imagine that the Resolve tree for Gangplank is some armor to help him out with the laning phase. It is a Doran shield start, so kind of understands he's going to take Harass from level 1. Didn't skill E level 1 like we see a lot of Rivens in solo queue doing against Gangplank to eat the Harass at level 1 before there's a real threat from the QW. Helped with the leash, so couldn't really take E level 1, and that's why it's going to be free damage for now.
Oh, misses the second creep though, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Amateur. SeongHwan, our resident Jin Air top lane Riven god, is I'm sure watching this closely and hoping there's a win so that he can play Riven himself.
Yeah. Gets himself out of the way. And as level 2 has been hit by Lindarang, that is why Khan is getting shoved in at the moment. Wait until level 3 before Riven is really going to start popping off. Really does need all of the skills in his kit.
Last time we saw it was summer 2015. I believe there was a quadra-kill for some day in that game. Might have been Smeb who actually got the quadra-kill. There was a lot of Riven quadra-kills. I think there's 2 Riven quadra-kills. But yeah, 2015 summer, so long ago.
3 whole years.
The mid lane Riven, the famous outplay by FLICKR in playoffs also happened.
Against the Cassiopeia.
That was 2015 summer finals. So when it comes to LCK regular season, well, it's going to be someday.
One of my all-time most favorite plays ever. Oh my goodness. If you haven't seen that one, guys, it's a long time ago. Certainly go and have a look for that one. The sidestep was about as beautiful as you could possibly want. We'll see whether Khan gets anything similar.
Early lane's not going to be fantastic for Riven. It's Gangplank in a melee matchup. So for early times, Parlay is a very happy place to be. But let's see if we see some cloth armors early, whether he feels strong enough to go Sheen and try to fight fire with fire.
Fran Gorilla will have probably a decent time down here on the bottom side in sort of the opposing matchup. Tahm Kench versus Braum, but otherwise it is pretty much the same lane so entirely.
How this draft works, Kalista Tahm, the no-dying duo. It's basically Kalista Thresh, but in a different form.
Yep.
They just want to farm up. Kha'Zix kind of wants to kill Zoe every time Malzahar ult is up, and they're leaving Khan the stage set to style on the Gangplank. That's the game plan from the side of Kingzone. They don't want to play 5v5. Bot lane is going to play about as defensive as can be. And then Kha'Zix ideally will play around mid, but may have to try and swing the top lane matchup as well. And that's all in theory. ROX Tigers do have a lot of pick power through the mid lane themselves, and BDD takes a bit of damage to announce that the Paddle Star is online, 3 points into the ability.
Yeah, he got quite frustrated, did BDD. Sort of his back got stopped, and then he's like, well, and then walked at lava.
And SeongHwan also is making this full solo queue. He's actually gone for a skirmisher saber.
Oh, wow,
he wants to start fighting people.
Well, Peanut's going to be that first option. Actually uses the leap to get himself out of the way of a potential trouble bubble that doesn't quite find him.
They want to brawl, so this is going to really help their 2v2, that's for sure. As the Rengar against the Kha'Zix, the lower matchup. And they go pretty well when you have a skirmisher saber advantage.
Yep, thankfully, the patience of this particular Raptor is being worn thin, and SeongHwan actually is going to find it in the end. Bowler flies through. SeongHwan doesn't find the stun with the empowerment, so Peanut is going to escape, but it's not great news. Valor does give Khan the shield as he heads forward, but you can see the passive. You get into melee range against the Gangplank. It doesn't feel great if you're only taking that 1-2 punch.
So why are we seeing ROX go skirmisher saber and play topside? They want to increase the threat onto Khan. If they control red side jungle, Khan can't push up and look for the inevitable all-in the moment that he gets to Blade of the Exile at level 6. So for now, making Khan accountable, also holding back the Kha'Zix. Early laning phase, pretty painful for the Riven. Will not be able to ult and ignite at level 6 off cooldown. The smart jungling and the skirmisher saber guarantees the 1v1 potential.
Oh, that was cute.
Against the Kha'Zix. So it really is not the worst choice here, even if it means their warding will be less.
Yeah, you see BDD actually blocking with the Voidlings like you were talking about earlier on there. Papa Smithy does help with the tanking of Baron, but also helps with the tanking of Paddle Stars. BDD still going to stop the back and has heal available as well. So Khan walking on a ward here, but gets one down himself. Just needs to make sure that he's as safe as possible. But Lindarang also doing the same thing. They've got Rift Scuttle Vision, as well as that cute little ward in the brush. Khan teleporting back up. Has actually sacrificed the Ignite. See whether he switches it back at any point after getting some of this shove. Gone for the early cooldown reduction in the Caulfield's Warhammer.
Yeah, both of the Dirk upgrade items are great for the Riven. One of the few champions that also consider the item we were speaking about yesterday on stream at Gangnam Stadium, the
Edge of Night?
It's not going to be the Edge of Night. We're not going to see that, but there's a lot of different... The Death's Dance could even be considered by Riven.
Hey, yeah, true.
Nice Riven item. Could be a rush, see it as rushed in solo queue, but probably going to be Youmuu's, I would guess, just into Ghostblade, just into the Duskblade. Both blades, I think, are a pretty smart build, just to try to destroy Gangplank, and that's all he is looking to do. This is supposed to be isolated for the entire game if he can get away with it.
Black Cleaver also certainly an option. Khan wants to head there.
But the Black Cleaver doesn't really speed up his killing Gangplank, and that's really all he wants to kill.
Yeah.
He's monogamous with his death. He just wants to go straight for the Gangplank wherever possible.
Lindarang actually being able to get some cheeky barrels off here as well, which is quite important. Good silence comes out of BDD there in the mid lane as we move back down here.
Infernal first spawn. They can get a kill on mid lane. They can turn it into that very easily.
All right, Broken Wings has been popped. The Wind Slash will be there. Good knock-up comes down as Khan. He's got the flash, decides not to follow. Just sending a message, and that's a huge minion wave that will have to be altered for Lindarang to be able to grab it. May actually miss out on some backline minions as well, as in comes Peanut. The exhaust very early, dodges out of the way of the Dazzler's Key. Could be in trouble. The Ren stacks are pulled out. Gorilla has the shield, and Kingzone make the dive look easy.
Yeah, no good choices there. Only level 5 on Key. The gank timing, oh baby. It was on point before they could see a true punishment with the Cosmic Radiance for the turn. Nice stuff from Kingzone. No one great to focus. And we said about ganking through mid. What about ganking through bot? This is the result they want. They would love an Infernal to help their team get rolling. 4 carries and a Tahm Kench. And pick it up, but no answer here available for ROX.
Yep. Once again, just feels pretty textbook here for Kingzone as we start off this game, but the gold lead is certainly not in their favor just yet. 200 in favor of ROX. Kleptomancy, of course, like in the previous series, this time going in favor of our blue side in the ROX Tigers. It means that even if, First Blood goes down, there's a little bit of a farm advantage, anything like that, then still certainly going to be in favor of Kingzone. Sorry, in favor of ROX Tigers with that extra cash.
Good news. Khan's doing pretty well. Damage taken, not the highest. KDA, DPM, and CS per minute for his role, all first. No surprise to anyone, as SeongHwan is going to die.
Yeah, well, he's going to get key bursted. Takes a lot of damage. There's the Broken Wings, gets the knock-up.
Oh, BD doesn't want to flash on him, apparently. They didn't have true vision. Or do they?
He's just going to get eaten up, and there is the Nether Grasp. All too easy. That's why he didn't flash on him, Papa. He didn't have to. He just got eaten by a catfish and delivered to a turret.
And he's got flash next time. Happy days for BDD in the mid lane. Already got the big CDR, probably 40%. CDR on some of the spells for flash, flash, flash in the late game.
It looks like Yomu's, like you were talking about as well, for Khan up towards the top side. Should be able to pick that one up when he goes back.
QSS Rush forced out of the mid lane. Means that the damage scaling is going to be slower for the Zoe. Top lane, not really any itemization to help him out in this particular matchup. Went the free boots route, which I think is risky against a Riven. Why not just go for one of the other items, or one of the other runes in the inspiration tree? Sort of matchup where you need Ninja Tabi as early as possible.
Yeah.
But went for both Sheen and Phage. That means that there's really no combat options when the Riven ultimate is up.
Khan going to go back home. 9 CS is his advantage, but grabbing that assist will certainly help him get his purple sword pretty fast. He's got the free ass boots as well.
And while, with the introduction of the counter pick, everyone was saying, where's the 4 kills at 10 minutes for Riven? When you think about comps, like what ROX is running, when you think about Gangplank's power, it's, I'm going to 1v1 and wave clear and then ult while the 4v4 wins. What you need against a Gangplank is kill pressure. And Riven, the entire game, will have kill pressure on Gangplank, will build damage for the lane, and focus all of his attention on killing the Gangplank. So that's the thing that can bust the strong 4-1 comps with GP, kill threat on GP, and Riven has it in spades.
Talking about getting busted as well, I mean, did you just watch BDD outplay Lava like 3 times in a row in a matter of 10 seconds?
Don't often talk about outplayers on Malzahar, but BD's pretty good at League of Legends.
Yeah, being able to put down the Voidlings at exactly the right place and make sure that the Paddle Stars weren't going to be landing does mean that he's navigating this lane quite easily. Someone...
Oh, baby.
He's going to get jumped on by an invisible bug man, and oh my god, Peanut with the leap strike jumps straight in. I know that's going to be a Jax ability, but it's called Leap, and that was a struck down Rengar.
We just saw a real-life jump scare enacted by the Kha'Zix in the lower matchup. We saw it from SeongHwan's perspective. He didn't see anything until he was dead. Really nice stuff from Peanut. Knew SeongHwan had no flash to get away. And now, the snowball's really getting going.
Well, Khan is actually down to about half health. Peanut grabs himself a Rift Herald. Should be able to get this one himself because SeongHwan's still making his way back from base. And Lava really hasn't been able to grab control of this mid lane whatsoever. Teleport back comes out from Khan as Lindarang, okay, will be able to spot the Kha'Zix as Peanut put in a lot of work, but isn't going to be able to grab it. Not enough pressure on the top side, and Khan's gone back to Ignite Papa Smithy. This guy is ready to do some battle with some people.
And why would he ever want to teleport to a fight when he can just kill Gangplank again and again, and he does his job anyway. So we talked about it in Champ Select, fits a Riven drop. We talked about how they want to play the game, where it's just an isolated top side. He doesn't need teleport, so he's not going to take it.
Nope. I just can't believe SeongHwan got jump scared so bad that even with a Skirmisher's Saber, still unable to take down Peanut. The isolation damage and sort of the power spike with the completed Warrior enchantment, just too much out of the Kha'Zix.
I mean, I think he was smart not to use his stopwatch. He knew he was dead.
Oh, yeah.
There was no allies coming to back him up. He was going to die, so still has his tools and his aggressive options to go in, but think about how that all happened. Lack of vision control, no Tracker's Knife means that Skirmisher Saber is only really useful when they can have battle warding for the Rengar on the enemy jungle, when they can have vision around the top side. They ain't got no vision.
Well, SeongHwan once again just going to get jumped on by Peanut. So much damage. Tries to turn it around this time, and this time he's got Lava turning up. Okay, another one comes down as Lava gets out of the way, utilizes that early purchase on the QSS, but it's still a lot of damage with that Malefic Visions. The zoom in, you can see how observers thought it was close too, but not quite enough.
There's just so much pressure on the top side. Always going to be there, even with Gangplank not dying. There's been control for the Riven. The Malzahar and Kha'Zix had control on mid, and Gorilla's just going everywhere.
Okay, flashing in, eats himself an Ezreal, and Prey gets a free kill. Gorilla just deciding when this one works. Windslash comes down. Peanut, he'll come in, deliver me a kill. Thank you very much, Khan. Khan grabs his second assist, and Kingzone once again. It's a beautiful start to this match.
Well, guys, don't look at explosions. Didn't even need to overforce to kill himself. He keeps his flash up. Lindarang uses it to his own doom. Both of the threats, all three of the threats. The fact that BDD, Peanut, and Khan are racking up kills and assists and not even using their summoners means the repeat gank is going to be again and again and again.
Yep. And Khan can just play super aggressively. BDD can play super aggressively. Gorilla can't quite so much, but Prey, he's absolutely fine, and he's got the Fate's
Gorilla
Call.
can't play
Yeah,
aggressively?
He certainly can now.
Turret diving
And he also has, yeah, but he's now used his flash and exhaust from Smithy, so now he has to be a little bit more careful. But then I remembered that Fate's Call exists, so he actually doesn't. Okay, Peanut's going to get jumped on, fair bit of damage, but the leap does come in. And he's not going to have to use his flash or anything just yet.
Control spotted him out there, so nice little bit of vision, but doesn't lead to the pick. They were hoping to arrest what is perfect game pace on the side of ROX Tigers.
Yes. Well, three of the former ROX Tigers, yep.
There's a lot of ROX Tigers out there at the moment. 8 on the Rift.
Yeah, we've got a lot of. In fact, we've got 9 here today.
Boom.
Considering the fact that Kuro is going to be playing in our next match. So just too many. Too many Tigers.
Khan working on what we'd imagine to be a Duskblade second. Then he gets to go into situational, so the Death's Dance chance goes up.
Ooh, I love a good Death's Dance chance.
Me too.
See whether he's going to go for 40% CDR. Because, of course, Death's Dance does have 10% on it, as well as, I believe, Duskblade as well.
The last Death's Dance I remember in LCK was a top lane Graze, which lets you know
Did we not have one on our Lowy game?
I don't know if she actually built one. She might have. It is a very common build on Alawi now that you mention it, so could be telling a lie there. The last one I remember
I can check this. Graves. I can check this right now. We can have a look at what Alawi was building. It was Rascal actually
Proxy.
for Kingzone.
It's competitive play. Where's my jungler? Well, pretty good idea that he's trying to help the bot side. They just got turret dived. Gangplank doing his best to keep up in CS, but they lose the mid lane turret. Even less control over the blue side. Joyous day for the Gangplank. It's pirate hunting season, Atlas.
Yeah. And it is just, it seems like tiger hunting season at the same time because Kingzone have not let up. Well, it depends which tiger, I believe. But I think that ROX are turning into one of the endangered ones.
We're going to have to put them on the list after this game.
Oh yeah. Actually, I don't know whether there's a lot of tigers that aren't endangered, Papa Smith.
That's what I was thinking.
Story.
I know.
Yeah.
We try to make light of it. Sometimes you have to laugh.
I don't think you
to
can
stop
make light of endangered species, can you? Is that... Oh, now I'm feeling
But you
depressed.
have to laugh, otherwise you cry, Atlas.
Well, that's why David Attenborough is so good, because his voice makes you happy, and then the content sometimes makes you sad.
I have been watching a lot of Planet Earth, too, so it makes sense that I'm
extraordinary.
Thinking about conservation. We should start a GoFundMe for the tigers.
Oh, no.
ROX or the real ones, doesn't matter.
I don't know. Well, maybe they can just learn from this game, because Kingzone is putting on a clinic on how to play League of Legends, and Khan is going to do it once again. Barrel comes in, though. It's a lot of damage coming down. Broken Wings, he will be able to find it. There it is! Flashes out of the cannon barrage. Flash comes in from Lava, but that's the 1v1 still won by the Riven, so I'm giving it to him.
1v1 maybe run, but they invested 2 other members' time to get no benefit. Bot lane turret goes. The Infernal had already gone down. The red buff stolen. Of course, it's a triple Infernal game with a Gangplank against a Riven top, thinks Lindarang.
No more perfect game opportunity, though, for Kingzone DragonX, so Lindarang at least able to do that one. Thanks, Riven.
Well, mid lane inner turret's going to go down as Lava very, very slowly with his QSS and Morellonomicon tries to take a turret himself.
Yeah, that's another inner turret. Outer's still actually up on the top side of the map. You would have thought that potentially Khan would have taken that one.
But you see, the problem with the turret goes down is there's more space for Gangplank not to be in kill range.
Yeah. Long lane. Lava's going to get exhausted and destroyed. We've seen Gorilla do this before, and Lava isn't even underneath the turret. This Peanut should be able to at least get some isolation.
Gorilla.
Are they just they're just eating him? I don't even know what's going on. He's just underneath the turret? Okay. A Q finally comes in. Are they staggering it? They're staggering the kills.
Gorilla gave him his choice. Do you want to die to the turret? That means I get the kill.
Or do you want to be eaten by a catfish? Oh.
That's a different game analysis, Atlas, with the kill staggering.
I like how you went back to it.
The undersight?
Yeah, a bit of undersight. Undersight knowledge there. Lindarang, okay, there's another cheeky little bug.
Jump scare!
Yeah, waiting in the brush. Okay, Prey's going to get flashed on, but he flashes immediately at the same time. Devour gets Peanut out of there as a turret falls down on the top side. BDD getting the objectives while the rest of his team's looking for kills, but 6,600 gold in the lead. You can imagine that at 19 minutes, they're pretty happy to just start farming ROX Tigers. Oh, God. And after talking about it, that was a bad move. Stolen is the blue buff from Peanut. And it's all just have your cake and eat it too when it comes to Kingzone.
I mean, they don't even get to look at cake. They're ripping up pictures of cakes and stopping them from even seeing them.
Oh.
The Kingzone DragonX. Lava's just here to shadow the inevitable all-in from Riven. This is actually good pathing from Lava.
But he does show, and now there is a definite Rift Herald that could turn into a Baron in 20 seconds. I was about to say Baron because it just feels like Kingzone are that far ahead, but Bazza hasn't quite made it to the Rift just yet.
ROX Tigers. Unfortunately, when it comes to things they have control of, it's very little. Control ward on the Wolves.
Oh, they're in blue side jungle. They've got a lot of vision.
They're trying to walk up. They're doing their best to hold that vision, but the fact that they have to invest control ward on their own walls to keep that camp theirs is not ideal. Kingzone have moved Riven to the bot side. Still has Ignite, of course, because why would you need to teleport?
Yeah. If he had a couple of charges in his spellbook, he could actually get his flashback if he feels like it, but probably doesn't actually want to do that at all.
Feels like Kingzone are going to take a lot of liberties. You know, they obviously know they're monstrously far ahead, and that's why ROX are trying to catch them at their own game.
The only way they lose this game is if they make a mistake and die to a whole bunch of ROX
speaking of
Tigers
mistakes,
members.
Lindarang's like, I can't walk past that safely, can I? The answer is no, by the way.
Yeah, and that is going to be an Abyssal Voyage as well. Peanut turns up. It's a party in the mid lane, and Lindarang was invited, but he got told to go home early. Kingzone DragonX now shoving all the way up to the inner turret. Thankfully, Cannon Barrage did come down. That cleared out the minion wave.
And after a game like this, jokes aside, one of the biggest horror films you can enact is, it seems, in the LCK, playing against Kingzone DragonX. This will be 8 wins in a row if they're able to win this game. That's game wins, so they are not giving up any free lunches. They can play any champion. They are confident enough to take Nidalee, to take Riven, go for what works in solo queue and make it work at the highest level. And this is after, remember, this is a counterpoint to a macro victory in game 1, almost an economic victory if you're a civilization buff. They just took it and played it smartly there, and now they can brute force you with their mechanics as well. Yep. It's a very, very scary proposition to play against a Kingzone DragonX in full flight.
Yep, this is looking like a domination victory most certainly on this particular run of Summoner's Rift, and I just love talking about a Kingzone DragonX team that can play multiple styles, and you brought it up yet again. Peanut's going to give Shelly the longest walk she's had for a very long time.
She's going to be tuckered out before she gets to a turret.
Tuckered out. Thankfully, there's some forward vision there by ROX. Going to see her meander past as she makes her way down the lane. See whether that was just Peanut waiting for the cooldown. I didn't actually see. He just wanted to throw it in there. Kani's backing. At least now on the bottom side of the map, they're going to have a bunch of pressure. Feels like there might be a Yorick in this game, you know? It's like Shelly's pretending to be the mistress.
Well, she's going for a walk, taking a couple selfies on the way to inevitably crashing a turret. You know, it's so far away. Every brush is death for Lindarang, and possibly SeongHwan as well if they're in melee range. Well, he looked really cool when he did that.
Yeah, he's still might be able to kill SeongHwan. Jumps over with the broken wings, flashes out, Abyssal Voyage to make sure Khan doesn't die. And he had his foot in his mouth a little bit at the beginning of that one. Made up for it.
But you know, if we would have asked him, he'd say it was on purpose to style. Golden Riven. Zonia's pose is possible by the stopwatch. The stopwatch strikes 10. It's 10 kills for the side of Kingzone.
Well, it can only actually strike 12, Papa Smith. It only has a 12 on it.
Well, that's why I mentioned the 10.
Oh, okay, nice. I apologize.
It's triple Infernal, by the way.
It's feeling worse than that. As, yeah, Shelly made it to the inner turret, and that means the Kingzone are going to use her split push to take down her big brother Baron.
What do you learn about a team playing against the side of Kingzone? Game 1, we learned that ROX could follow the steps. They weren't hapless, but things couldn't happen. Almost dies to the Cannon Barrage. In this game, though, we've seen it feels like one game a series. We see this side of Kingzone. Sometimes game 1, sometimes it's game 2, where what team beats this? What team can actually take advantage of this? KT Rolster's the first one I think of who also have the players on the Rift to answer some of the stars for Kingzone.
The problem is that it just doesn't feel like they have the same level of coordination and synergy that Kingzone have been displaying, especially in their last few matches. Because they weren't playing this cohesive. This is like a hive mind League of Legends style with incredible mechanics. As Peanut is going to leap his way out.
The most surreal thing to me, Atlas, though, is, as that's a lot of damage to Lava, another Q would have killed the poor little Zoe, is that how good, I'm always impressed by how good Khan is with no time in the game, as that's going to be a dead Kha'Zix.
Well dead.
Khan can spend a couple of series away, like for example his competitive role, and come back and just be on point. Maybe you have to earn the right to play Khan. Because at the end of the day, they won with Rascal as well, middly against MVP. Khan plays like this particular game. About the pick more than necessary his play. Wasn't the greatest Riven of all time. Viper, I'm sure, will not be excited watching the VOD of this, and there was some Riven in the LPL as well. But it's all about what the pick does. Confidence of Khan to pick it even in the LCK. There goes another turret, 6-0. Triple Infernal Riven to deal with. Now has a Ravenous Hydra as well, lovely.
Yeah. Able to make all of those animation cancel plays you certainly want to see out of the Riven. Gorilla spits out Prey. Khan continues to shove. Ravenous Hydra is such a fun item on Riven. Gives you infinite wave clear and also the ability to cancel out maneuvers. Do the fun stuff. Gets himself out of the way, so bit slower now, Papa Smithy.
Actually breaking the base. Going to be a lot more difficult for the Riven, but she's just about making that Gangplank accountable. Can always flash on top of him. Still Ignite, by the way, for the Riven.
Good times. Almost has his flashback up as well, so as soon as that one's there, he's going to be playing a little bit more aggressively, going for these actual kills.
I'm not sure if he just kills him straight here.
Yeah, well, Abyssal Voyage has always been on point by Gorilla, and thankfully Thriller Hunt goes off in time to save SeongHwan, but that means that they won't have that available to try and stave off his Kingzone pressure. Baron buff still circling for another minute. The minion wave is being dealt with. And the 1-3-1 has had to be employed. So ROX Tigers move their way over. Paddlestar not going to quite be enough. BDD just seems to have the number on Lava's Zoe.
Zoe's so far behind in items. Just now got her first needlessly large rod after the early QSS from Nomicon. They brute force down bot side. Khan still wants his highlight play. Hasn't been able to get one yet.
Yeah, Inhibitor's going to fall on the top side first though. Prey moves back towards the mid lane, and ROX, because they just can't find any sort of fight. Oh, there's a flash in BDD. Wants to start this one off, but the Nether Grasp is actually going to be cancelled.
Here comes Riven!
Oh my god, the triple stun! Massive key burst, triple kill, quadra kill! Is this going to be the Penta? He's going to be delivered at this time! That's going to be the first Riven in 3 years! Penta kill for Khan, and the 2-0 for Kingzone DragonX!
Kingzone DragonX, the best in the world. They can do anything. They break out the Riven, well held for a long time, not forever. Kingzone DragonX, every other team eat your heart out. Try and beat these guys in this sort of a run of form.
And we were talking about Khan, we were saying that, you know, maybe he's not the best Riven in the world, finds the ultra flash stun to get 3 members of the team. Absolutely amazing, but it was the rest of the team backing him up, honestly. Utterly flawless today on Summoner's Rift by Kingzone DragonX, continuing to look better and better this season, and saying they look better and better after being our LCK champions for 2017 summer is huge praise.
They're working their stuff out. See Khan on your screen, obviously overjoyed at being the second pentakill. It's the team with the first pentakill, but they had issues. What did I say pre-season? How do you work out integrating Peanut? Yep. Where is this team at? You're going to have to change your strategy. They're showing new strategies. They're showing they can answer obvious shortcomings of removing a winning combination. They're trying to find a way to reinvent a wheel that won them the LCK Summer title. That was some excellent knock-up synergy. The key burst as well. No way for someone to skip away from Riven in this sort of a day. Goodbye, pentakill to Khan. It's first in the LCK. The Kinks are gone, Atlas. I think everything is in order now for Kingzone DragonX. It didn't take them a whole season. It took them 5 matches, and now they are the most fearsome team in the world.
I think so much of it has to do with Peanut changing his playstyle as well, really adjusting to working with so many weapons on this roster. The bottom lane always very good at not having any help. And Peanut, you mentioned Battle Ward, but he was always an aggressive Battle Ward that tried to fight. This time, he's getting vision down where he needs to and aiding his team where he needs to. And it looks like he now trusts these super-powered solo lanes.
But when the macro is in place, like we saw today, game one, a macro victory, like you feel your hearts go out to ROX Tigers because they're better player for player in every role, and their macro was on point. It doesn't feel fair.
Yeah.
That's how strong KingZone DragonX are. Riven didn't have a fantastic game. You know, he did his job. He was huge up in CS because of the matchup. He had the balls to lock in Riven, so obviously a big thumbs up there. Gorilla, to me, was the big star with the Abyssal Voyages, but the Pentakiller often picks up the MVP. He's already had one. Will he get greedy? We'll find out.
I'm certainly with you, Papa Smithy. I feel like Gorilla always being there. There's Tahm Kench players, and then there's Tahm Kench players. And the ones that are able to turn up in the nick of time when they need to and bring the cavalry with them, certainly the ones that are impressive. And that the sort of solo engage onto Sangyoon underneath the turret bottom lane just because it looked like he was bored was so beautiful to watch.
How are they so good already?
They are just so good.
I need KT Rolster versus KingZone. It's not this week. That's all I know. I do all the days. So it's one day at a time for me, Atlas, but I didn't see it on this week's schedule. Let's show them in the booth first instead of showing us an MVP.
Yeah, I feel like we're deliberating, taking a little bit of time to figure out exactly who we want to give that MVP to.
They're going to pack up all their stuff. People who come and sit here for the next match will hope they get some of the good vibes from this team. Peanut feeling pretty happy for himself. The Kha'Zix game a lot more straightforward here. ROX Tigers. It's tough, you know?
Yeah.
You were beaten by a better team. There's
That's
not really too much else to say there. It's so hard after an MVP game or a KingZone game to really update the status of the team that was playing against them because it's such a struggle, right? A lot of teams have looked really good and gotten very hyped for their next match beating MVP, and a lot of teams have lost to KingZone, and I don't feel like you can use what you see on the Rift against them because KingZone is so good.
Well, if you're looking at yourself, you can't necessarily use it, but you can look at KingZone and see how they were able to take you down. But Khan, he picked up a pentakill, 7-1-3 on the Riven.
What did he Gathering Storm for?
So he could be late game Riven.
Late game Riven, who took Ignite, took Teleport to get back to lane once, then went back to that trusty Ignite. Only job was to kill Gangplank, so he accidentally got a pentakill after a very nice knock-up was enacted by the Kalista. Early laning phase was good, as expected. You know, nothing to get super excited about in the laning phase because of the matchup. Very, very one-sided. But then, you know, some small mistakes happened. This one I thought, where's the BDD flash ult? Didn't need it. Gorilla was on point. Robbed for this MVP, if you ask me.
I believe so too, Pop Smithy. And even Thrill the Hunt, not going to be enough. Zayed, I loved this particular fight. Really illustrated the coordination between the members of KingZone. Just wanders in, happy to grab the kill.
And you watch this, and it looks like any other Riven top, like, you know, the Riven main, right? You know, Box, Viper, all these players. But remember, he plays all the other damn champions really well too.
And he was a Fiora one trick who's not Riven, you know.
This was him styling.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it was a mistake, but if it wasn't, then I don't know about competitive rulings for use of stopwatches, but maybe there needs to be one right there. And then this happens. Key burst guarantees a triple knockup. Play the Exile wasn't even needed. And what's Lindarang and Sangyoon to do?
Die. And head to the Death Chamber and wait until their next match, Papa Smithy, because this one is well and truly over. Khan going to be able to grab that MVP and launch himself into equal first. Now we've got 3 members up there in Kuro and Teddy, as well as Khan, but we do have another interview with the MVPs from KingZone, so we're actually not going to throw it over to Discord with Joel. We're going to throw it over to TeamSpeak 3 with our good friend Andy. Take it away.
Thank you, guys. We have the interview ready with the MVP Khan. KingZone asserts their dominance by taking out ROX Tigers 2-0. Please give a round of applause.
오늘 킹존이
Wow.
상암에서의 첫 경기였어요.
KingZone, it's their first game in OGN.
이게 상암에서 하면은 좀 게임이 길어진다 이런
Like,
말이 있었는데
we tend to have longer games in OGN,
이제 강남에서 했던 대로 2대0으로
but it doesn't matter for us because they are both short games, whether it's Gangnam or OGN.
알려져 있는데
강남이 좀 짧은 이유가 킹존이 아니냐.
The reason why Gangnam games are so short is maybe it's because of King Zone.
어느 정도 일리가 있는 말이라고 생각해요.
I think it's pretty logical.
킹존에 의해서 이제 상암도 좀 짧아지는 겁니까?
Do you think King Zone plays an instrumental role in shortening the game time?
이제 상암의 평균 경기 시간도 줄어들지 않을까요?
Yeah, I do think that, and I feel like in the future, the games in OGN will be shorter as well.
방금도 말씀하셨지만 킹존의 경기 시간이 실제로 짧은 편이 맞거든요.
And it's true that your average game time tends to be a lot shorter than other teams.
요즘 존버 메타라고 하잖아요.
예.
이제 거기에 좀 필수적으로 들어가는 챔피언들이 몇몇 있는데
I feel like the games, like the meta currently is to prolong the game as long as possible and going to late game. But I think we have the capacity to restrict that.
그런 게
스피드하게. 스피드하게.
그런 게 가능한 것 같아요. 예, 플레이도 플레이인데 이제 뭐 플레이는
I mean, of course, we have the mechanical prowess, but there are other things as well.
끝낼 수 있을 것 같아요.
그래서 1세트 때 갱플랭크를
In the first set,
가져와 버렸어요.
your Gangplank was quite phenomenal as well.
지금 탑 어떤 챔피언을 꺼내도 좀 자신이 있기 때문에
Like, I'm pretty comfortable with any top champions right now, so I feel like everything worked out pretty well.
상대가 리븐 했으면 어떡할 뻔했어요.
How do you think you would felt if the enemy picked Riven? I think I would have the same
여러
confidence.
가지 장면들이 있었는데 마지막에 또 그 한타에서 본인들이 한 명이 잘리고 이제 좀 위기.
In the last team fight, one of your teammates got caught, but you guys came out on top.
그런 장면도 있었단 말이에요.
Because of your Gangplank plays, what do you feel about it?
이 장면인데
This play.
네, 기억나요.
예, 한 위기라고 생각하지 않았어요?
Did you think this was a sign of danger?
저좀 자기 할 것만 하는 그런 스타일이거든요.
Like my style is just focusing on my own plays, not other people's plays. So I just try my best, and the outcome was really good.
좀 기대하긴 했거든요. 근데 뭐 아쉽게도
I mean, I did expect to get a pentakill, but I was kind of sad I couldn't get a pentakill.
네. 그래서 2세트에 딱 이제 돌입을 했는데
So in the second set,
리븐이 나왔어요.
your dream
준비된
was
카드인가요?
achieved.
네, 준비된
You picked
카드기도
Riven.
하고 이제 저희 코치님들이 픽밴에서 선수들의 의견을 이제 되게 잘 수용해 주시거든요.
During the picks and bans phase, our head coach allowed me to play Riven,
좀 솔로 랭크 보면 리븐 장인
as I have played a lot of Riven in solo rank.
괜찮은 카드가 될 수 있지 않을까 해서 준비하게 됐는데 뭐 준비한 게 결과가 좋게 나와서
And I'm glad it turned out well.
예, 그래서 사실 팬분들 사이에서도 굉장히 화제가 될 거예요.
Between the fans, I think this is gonna be pretty controversial because Riven hasn't been picked that much in LCK.
저도 안정 감정 많아요.
계속 나올 거다 하는데.
So I feel like Riven might be a stable pick from now.
네, 상황 보고 꺼내면은 어떤 카드든 다 좋은 카드.
I mean, any champion can be a good situational pick.
이거를 한 가지를 정말 조심해라라는 게 있다면요.
Would you
조심해야 될 것 같아요.
would you say any cautions for Riven?
그런 답변이었습니다. 근데 또 2세트에서 인상적인 부분이 조이를 그냥 풀었어요.
In the second set, you guys actually didn't ban Zoe.
라바 선수가 잘하기도 했어요.
What was the reason behind it?
그럼에도 불구하고 이제 내준 이유가 뭘까요? 좀 대책이 마련이 돼 있었나요?
네, 뭐 저희 내적으로도 이제 뭐 자세한 건 얘기를 못 드리겠지만은
Internally, it's kind of classified, but we have the means to prevent Zoe from getting fed.
별 문제 없었을 거라고 생각해요.
So no problem.
미드 얘기 나온 김에 그래서 진짜 말씀하신 대로 BDD나 칸이 서로 뭐 내가 더 라인전 세하면서
So BDD and Khan fighting for who's the stronger player.
BDD는 좀 만능 이제 라인전도 잘하는데 좀 스마트.
I think BD is more like a player who's really strong in the laning phase and roaming and like other specialties as well.
그래서 뭐 멋진 장면들이 이 세트 때 굉장히 많았습니다만은 많은 분들이 조금
In the
이제
second set, there were a lot of highlights.
뭐지라고 생각하시는 부분이 있었어요.
설마 초시계?
네, 그거 어떻게 된 건지 혹시 그 진상에
So
대해서.
any comments on Starwatch?
액티브 아이템이 1번엔 티아멧, 2번엔 요우무 이렇게 같이 있다 보니까 원래 마음속으로 이제 부시에서 랭가가 저기 있네? 요우무 키고 한번.
I was trying to pull out a play, and then I got my hotkeys confused, and then I ended up pressing the wrong hotkey.
액티브 아이템이 많다 보니까 뭐 살려나갈 시간을 준다 뭐 이렇게 해설을 하셨어요.
설계를 했다.
네.
So it was all constructed like a big picture.
뭐 결과가 좋게 나왔으니까 어떻게
I mean, come on, the result is good, so like,
죽었으면 되게 취했을 것 같아요.
you know, it's not too bad.
근데 그것도 마지막에 또 따라가는 장면도 굉장히 멋있었고 그래서 결국에는 1세트 때 하지 못했던 펜타킬을.
So in the second set, you were able to achieve your pentakill that you couldn't get in the first set.
그때 좀 이거 된다. 펜타킬 뭐 들어가 이미 진입하기 직전에 이거.
So like,
처음에
did you expect to get a pentakill from this moment?
보다 들어갔잖아요.
Yeah, I actually did.
위치를 보고 있는데 이게 타릭팀이 끝나갈 때쯤에
And my teammates helped me get the pentakill as well.
오케이하고 들어갔는데
So I'm pretty happy.
트리플킬 먹고 나서 아 이거 각 나왔다. 이거 한 번 좀 비벼도 되나? 해서 팀원들도 이제 다 펜타킬 주자 얘기 나오면서 펜타킬을 하게 됐네요.
이야, 사실 이 탑라이너가 펜타킬하는 경우가 굉장히 좀 드문 경우잖아요.
It's pretty rare for the top laner to get a pentakill.
칸 선수가 또 펜타킬을 오늘 2분으로
So it's
완성시키면서 멋진
pretty
모습을 보여줬습니다.
pretty nice that
우리도
you
굉장히
got the
만족스러운
pentakill
거.
Riven.
나오면서부터 뭐 웃음꽃이 활짝 피었던데.
아 랭크 게임에서도 쉽게 접하지 못하는
I mean, you look
펜타킬을
really happy today.
대회에서 했다는 게 되게 기쁘네요. 마음에 듭니다.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy
지금
today.
대단합니다. 본인도 스스로 굉장히 만족하고 있어요.
그래서
Yeah,
보통
he
그냥
seems pretty
단독
satisfied.
MVP를 받긴 받으셨는데 사실 다른 팀원들도 진짜 잘한 선수들이 많았잖아요.
I mean, you did get the MVP, but the other team members really did a phenomenal job today.
엄청나게 멋진 활약을 한 것 같아요.
아 저희 팀은 일단 제가 제일 잘했다고 치면은
Like
똑같은 것 같아요.
our team in general, like I'm the best, and the rest are pretty similar.
그렇죠. 그러니까 단독 MVP 받았죠.
그렇겠죠?
아, 참 재밌어요. 아, 그래서 이제 킹존이 이제 4연승을
So Kingzone
있습니다.
is now
그래서
at
지금
4
뭐
consecutive wins.
전문가들이나 아니면 팬분들도 이거 킹존 가장 강력한 우승 후보다.
So you know,
이렇게 지금 꼽고
fans are
있는데
saying that Kingzone might be the
우리 팀
strongest
내적으로
contender
어떻게
in
평가하고
LCK right now.
일단 저는 자신감에 차 있긴 하지만
I'm always full of confidence.
어쨌든 나머지 강팀들도 많이 남아 있고 2라운드
But there are still teams that we need to be wary of. So I'll try not to let my guard down and stay modest at all times.
여기서 또 확 이제 겸손한 모습으로.
Very modest of you.
네, 패기 있게 우리가 우승합니다 이럴 줄 알았는데
마음은 그래요. 마음은 그래요.
결국 말했네요. 알겠습니다. 자, 그래서 오늘 이제 상암에서의 첫 경기도 승리로 가져온
So it's your first game in OGN.
이어가고 있습니다. 이번 시즌에 대한 각오와 함께
Would you like to tell us your resolution for this year?
요즘 이제 날씨도 되게 많이 추워가는데 이제
It's really cold these days.
경기 보러 와주시고 응원해
So I would like to thank the fans who have come here to cheer for us in this cold weather.
아니더라도 이제 뭐 LCK 모든 팀을 응원해 주시는 여러분들께 감사 인사.
And yeah, just
감사합니다.
thank you all.
다시 한번 칸 선수에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Okay,
네, 이렇게 해서
That's the end of the
오늘
interview,
4연승 1위로
I
올라서
think.
킹존 승리 축하하면서 이들의 패기가
And I'll throw it back to the casters as the interview ends.
부탁드리겠습니다. 이상으로
Thank you very much, Andy. Good to hear from Khan. I like it when he gets to sit down and just be Khan. The best team, but the rest of his teammates aren't that far behind him, as he says himself.
According to him, it was a bit of a fat finger on the stopwatch.
Yep.
It looked cool, though, and the result was certainly pretty damn good. 27 minutes, 24 it took to blitz ROX Tigers. 4 minutes more than it took for them to blitz MVP last time out. Fearsome team. Looking at the schedule, 1 week from today will be the meeting of KT Rolster and Kingzone DragonX. That one will be unmissable, League of Legends.
Exactly a week from today as well, so it will be today over at OGN as well, which means that we've got a chance to possibly do this one again, Papa Smithy, which is going to be very exciting. See where Kingzone DragonX...
We can see where they are on the ladder, though, Atlas.
Yeah,
2-0
right
victory
out on top.
means they are 1 game ahead of KSV. They are, right now, as we speak, the best team in Korea. Very impressive performance. We got a great second set today as well. FLICKR Freaks, who have been in good form after a couple of heartbreaking losses. The loss to KSV 2-0, chief among them. And the BBQ Olivers coming off a victory as well. So very interesting to see this one. This is 2 teams that I think will be running that 5th spot very close as the season goes on. Both these teams are playoff contenders.
I feel like 4th, 5th, and 6th are going to be completely unpredictable by anyone at this particular point in the LCK, because Jinner have been playing extremely well. We've got BBQ stepping back up. We've got the FLICKR Freaks as well. So we'll see who's going to be able to win it out tonight, because that's going to give us an idea of how that's going to work.
Now, guys, 50 minutes or so. 50 minutes. It's 7 o'clock KST, 7:50. Come back. More League of Legends then.
See you then, guys.
Trust that you're able, and you just might fly.
Coming up next, Afrika Freaks, BBQ Olivers, beginning of the end. 2018 League of Legends Champions Korea Spring Split.